Problem is I got 666 down here and it's not 666 up here. So you know what this is up here? 999. 999 is a positive number. Balances out 666. You can make up a story for anything. I named it chaotic evil because literally there is no material that has more of a claim to the title of chaotic evil than GIMP. It's Monday. And it's going to be a great Monday. Got some nice, fresh, clean clothes on. This is a new shirt. I'm not going to say I stole it from Lil Boo, from Nora Neko Art. She's telling me I got to use her actual social handle, which is Nora Neko Art, so she can get some exposure. I don't know what kind of exposure she thinks she's going to get on my channel. But anyway, so I reclaimed this shirt from Nora Neko Art. I don't know, maybe I stole it. I think it was mine originally, and I think I gave it to her, or I think she took it from me. Whatever. But then she left it here when she was doing some yard work. And I said, well, I'll have that. And so now she can't have it back because I've worn it on camera. Now it's part of canon. Sorry, Nora. Mine now. All right, so I'm going to basically re-record everything that I've recorded for the last couple days. I recorded some stuff on Saturday, which was a bit frenetic. Okay, so just so you know, this is my setup. This is my camera. Look at that. Look where the camera is. I have to like get all the way back here to show where my camera is. And then when I come up here, so there's my workpiece, whatever, it's all good. And there's my monitor, so at least I can see that it's pin sharp. But like, if I want to focus it, I'm like up here. I have to go up here to get to the, to get the frickin' card out. I have to go up here to change the mode. This is ridiculous. I mean, it looks good. Here's my crow. Hey, crow. My raven. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that I'm not insane. Well, I am insane. I'm completely insane. I love this song. Bye. And I recorded some stuff yesterday, which was just not fit. Not fit for purpose, as they say. It is Sunday. My hair is short and blonde because I had it done. I had it did. Oh, I don't have my lights on or anything. Everything's just all fucked up right now. Whatever. It's been a much better week. Even though it's Sunday and I literally haven't recorded any video except the video I recorded when I went and got my hair cut. It is Thursday and I'm riding my motorcycle today because it's a beautiful day. And I'm going to get my hair cut. So I got the Osmo on my helmet. I'm doing a little bit of hyperlapse, and I got no microphone, so I hope this sounds okay. But whenever you go to Northwest Portland, you have to park way far away from 23rd, where you have to pay. I don't like to pay to park. I like free parking. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab a coffee at Starbucks. I'm gonna go get my hair did, cut and colored, so I can keep my look fresh and tight. Dear humans, this redbud was killed by dog pee. That tree was killed by pee. Alright, well, very interesting. But I've been working in the garden because we've had a heat wave. It's been very hot, so I've had to go out every morning and like soak the garden, make sure that we're not going to have all my little plants die, all our little baby plants. Garden's going great guns. Lots of blueberries and strawberries and delicious things. I mean, you don't care about my garden. What you care about, if you care at all, and there's no guarantee that you do, is this project. And I gotta say, there's been a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Problem is right now, I can't talk about it because I don't even know where to start. So remember last week, I did say it's Sunday, didn't I? It's not even It's like I've missed all these days. It's like Sunday. I haven't popped open the cameras because I've been afraid to pop open the cameras because I got this going on and it's whatever. So anyway, it's Sunday. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't. I'm only 2 rainier. I'm rainier and a half in. So just check yourself. Don't judge. You can judge all you want, I don't care. So I'm going to try to be a little more coherent and cogent today. I'm going to do some hyperlapsing, going to lay in some stitches. Got a lot to report. Anyway, so let's take a look at where we left off. One of the things I've spent the last 2, 3, 4 days on is more camera fussing. I'm trying a new lens. It's a 50mm lens. I gotta say, it looks absolutely sick. It's sharp, it's crisp, it's flat. It's the whole point of like a wider lens that gets you a flatter shot. But I have to like elevate it 25 feet in the air, which I had to fuss around with quite enormously. And then of course I ordered a ceiling mount so I can suspend the camera from the ceiling. It's all just crazy. But anyway, it looks fantastic. So here's where we left off last week. Last week was a very frustrating week and I was having a lot of problems and not happy with life. I was not happy with this golden thread of destiny. I was not happy with it for a lot of reasons. It just, I mean, looking at it now, I don't hate it. I mean, it's okay. It's reasonably pretty, but I have something way better I want to put in there. So that brings us to one piece of news is we're going to have our first official takeout. I don't like to take things out once I've laid them in, especially to the main project because it's silk and you don't want to abuse the silk too much, though. I mean, I certainly abuse my silk substantially. I got a thing right here every time I lean forward. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that clamp thing there is good. It reminds me not to lean too far forward into my shot. That's the other reason I got the 50mm lens, is because every time I was doing hyperlapse, I would lean into so, and I would get my head in the shot. But if I have a freaking camera 25 feet in the air, it's a lot harder to get my head in the shot. So I should probably not block the shot quite as much. It's constant improvement around here. Constant improvement. Okay, so here's where we left off. I did all of this. I'm really happy with this. I need to couch down these long black threads, probably put another black thread here, because I think that seems to follow the design that I'm going for. And then I have a really cool treatment for this GIMP. That's what I'm going to walk you through, is how I developed this stitch pattern, because I went through a lot of ins and outs with it. And I think it's kind of interesting. You know, still not completely in love with this treatment, but that I'm not going to fuss with right now. I'm going to just leave that be. But Golden Thread of Destiny is going to come out. I'm going to take it all the way out along here for a couple reasons. I didn't want to, this motif, this design, this stitch pattern is meant to go in all 4 of these arrows, right? And I don't want to sign myself up to repeat a stitch pattern that I'm not super happy with. Discretion is the better part of valor. So I'm going to take it out. So that'll be one thing I do. And then I'm going to lay in some of my new stitch patterns and got some really cool stuff to do this week. Okay, so again, we're trying to keep our brain focused. So remember last week I was all excited about, I figured out how to print wash and go through my Pixma inkjet printer. But I ended up having some problems getting that to work consistently because I would iron the wash and go onto freezer paper or run it through the Pixma and it would jam a lot of the times. So I experimented with a couple different things. I tried putting the wash and go using, temporary adhesive and just putting it on paper because I figured, paper goes through a printer. Try that. Well, it went through the printer, but then when I tried to peel off the wash and go, the paper stuck to the wash and go. So that wasn't great. So I finally came up with kind of a 3-step process, which is you iron the wash and go onto freezer paper, and then you spray bond the freezer paper onto regular paper. It's probably overcomplicated. You probably don't need to do that much. And furthermore, I do have a Cricut, and I could just put the wash and go on one of those Cricut mats and use the Cricut ink printing thing. But I'm scared of the Cricut. Neurodivergent Art says I shouldn't be scared of the Cricut, but I'm scared of the Cricut. So that is one thing I'm going to have to learn not to be scared of. And for now, this is how I'm doing it. So anyway, that was a long way of saying that I've printed up a lot more wash and go. And what I love about this, what I've done here, is I basically just did a grid. I did a grid of dots, which gives me all the spacing information I need to make my stitches even, perfect, level, straight, precise, pristine, all of that good stuff. So we've got Celebrate Your Shame, Tori, Sneaky Fuss Budget, the old favorites. Here is Golden Thread of Destiny. And it doesn't have any beads on it, doesn't have anything, but it shows much more accurately what I was going for. And it also shows, at least to my eye, that this design pattern probably works better in a narrower space. Because when I'm looking at this right here, it's much wider, right? Obviously it's wider. And it just, anyway, I think using this motif in a narrower band, like maybe around the edges of one of these cards, maybe there, in here somewhere. That's how I'm going to make myself feel slightly better about taking out this golden thread of destiny, because I will reuse it somewhere. Then we have what I'm calling chaotic evil. Now this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do a little description on how I developed this stitch pattern and what I went through on it. Because what you're seeing on this sample, alas, is something I'm going to have to take out and redo, or at least take out the stitch part. So what it is, I mean, it's the GIMP, right? Laid it down the middle, and I put in the stem stitch because we know there's already stem stitch there, so I'm going to have to accommodate for that. And then I also wanted to kind of have the colors, I'm not really centered, am I? How about that? How about now? Because it's going to be going alongside or kind of in conversation with Tori, I'm going to use the same colors as Tori. We've got that kind of purple. I'm going to do an ombre, so I'm going to use the darker purple that I have, and then I believe I have a lighter purple or a more, a tone of it in my palette, so I'll use that. Then this one, my last one, it's called Crap Hound, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So I originally thought of designing Crap Hound to go in this, because that ribbon, it's a really interesting, nice kind of satin translucent ribbon that has the weave on each side, and then it's kind of a translucent gauze kind of in the middle. And I thought that's really pretty, and that would look nice there, and it goes with the satin cord, and it would be cool to embroider something over it. And then I remembered when I was in college, long ago, many eons ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I had a lot of friends who were design majors. I mean, I was a film major, an English major, and an economics major, psychology major, drama major. I majored in everything in college. I finally ended up with a double major in English and film. But anyway, I had a friend who was a designer. So I'm not going to say his name. You probably wouldn't appreciate it. But I thought very highly of his work. And one time in college, he got a commission to do a poster for like a fraternity house shindig, a shebang, a do, a blowout. And, as you can hear from my retelling of this story, neither he nor I, nor most of the folks in my circle at that time, had much use for the fraternity system. We thought they were a bunch of posers. We were punks, man. We didn't like the frat boys. Anyway, but he was willing to take their money, as designers often are. So he wanted to do this commission, and so he was going to do this commission for Beach Blanket Beer Bong, or whatever it was called. And he did a beautiful design. He did some kind of no, he didn't do a woodcut, but he did kind of a woodcut style, and it looked really nice. And he had a really cool border with like dots and dashes. It looked very graphic. It looked, very cool. All the dots and dashes were irregular, and I kind of was asking him about this. And he said, well, you know what that is, don't you? And I said, no, I don't. He said, it's Morse code. And all the dots and dashes spell out, fuck you, frat boys. Or something like that. I don't know if it said exactly that, but it said something much along those lines. And I remember thinking that is the most interesting and subversive idea I've ever heard of. What an awesome idea. I loved that idea. And I've carried it with me throughout all of my life ever since, in the 195 years since I graduated from college. I have remembered that little design subversion. And I've always wanted to use it in some way. And here it is. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to basically take that ribbon that I showed, and I'm going to embroider Morse code over it. There's a little system to this. The pipe bar, the vertical lines separate the letters. So you have dot, dash. A dot is just a French knot, and then a dash is just a straight stitch. And then I'm doing a little backslash, kind of code, kind of like computer code, to separate the words. And so I'm not going to tell you what this says. I will leave that as an exercise to the viewer. You can decode it yourself if I happen to zoom in on it, which I'm sure I will. And if you happen to find out what it says, put it in the comments. Because, someday in the future, somebody might watch this video, might want to know what it says, and they might not want to take all the time to decode it. And you could be the hero of the day. They'll scroll down to the comments and say, oh, So-and-so 86 figured it out. How nice of them. Thank you, so-and-so 86. Appreciate you. Anyway, that one I am calling Craphound, in honor of my college friend, who still shall remain nameless, because I don't want to embarrass anybody by associating them with my... So I'm going to, I hear somebody poking around upstairs. It's probably Noroneko art. I want to call her Little Boo. Little Boo is cuter, but Noroneko art is more brand appropriate. So she's probably poking around upstairs because she's got more yard work to do today. I'm not helping today. I got stuff to do. I got sewing to do. I got stitching to do. All right, well, it's Tuesday, and it's getting on noon, and I'm going to have to call it for this week. I really wanted to get a little bit farther, but I did get this week, I got Chaotic Evil laid in. I did go ahead and take out Golden Thread of Destiny, and I've replaced it with Craphound. What I'd kind of hoped to work on this week, too, was this area. That's kind of where I started this week. But when I got to it and I was sewing, I kind of realized I kind of know what I'm going to do, but I need to make sure that I know what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do, so there's Golden Thread of Destiny right here. That is what I want to lay in along here, along the edges of this card. But then the problem is I got to realizing I didn't know what colors I wanted to use. I've got purple, I got blue, I got the pink and the fuss budget and all that. And I could just use these same colors, which are kind of black and blue and gold and red and all that. That's not going to work very well. And this thing just keeps moving on me. Boy, this big frame is just the most temperamental. Always moving and shifting, and I'm always having to tighten and untighten. And now I'm hitting my Osmo on top of everything else. Sorry, Osmo. So I'm probably going to do Golden Thread of Destiny in there, but I got to double check and make sure I'm cool with the colors. And then in these boxes here, kind of, so this card box, what I know I want to do is something like this leaf that I started noodling around on. And I really like that. I think that would look pretty in there, like there and there. But then I thought, okay, well, do I want to change colors? Do I want it to be green all the way, or do I want to do something more seasonal? And I would do it on both sides, so I would have to... So it becomes a whole color conundrum yet again with me trying to figure out what colors to use. The other thing I would probably have to do, and this is the other thing I was noodling on, was I set this up with the center motif in the center because I thought it looked really cool on camera. But as I'm getting down to these edges, I'm having a real hard time, obviously having a hard time working on it. What I might do next week, and I'm on the bubble about this, is I might go ahead and stretch it, so basically roll it up that way and get down to this edge down here. Because then what I could do is kind of complete a whole quadrant. When I have the whole quadrant done, then I've kind of figured out all my design challenges. I know how it looks, and then I can just get to replicating it on all the other quadrants. So I'm seriously thinking about that, but again, that will have to be a problem for next week me to think about. And it was another week of a few camera mishaps. I got a new lens. I got this 50mm lens. It's much flatter. It's very sharp when I do my time lapses. I was hoping it would take care of the problem of me getting my head in the camera shot when I do hyperlapses. It doesn't 100% do that. So that's a problem. I guess that's it. I'm reasonably happy with where we're at. I think we got a lot to do. I'll keep working on getting all my cameras and everything else as good as possible, because the whole point is I want you to be able to see as the stitches go in, and my big old head keeps getting in the shot. That's a problem. I think that's it for this week. Please remember, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I don't know. It all helps, I guess, with the algorithm or something. Thank you all. Have a wonderful week. See you next week.